Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Derek Afasi. I'm the owner of Afasi Financial Group and RetireSharp.com. Today's topic, I want to discuss with you 401k distributions and do not wish to offend anybody with the title 401k distributions for dummies. I just want to break it down to very simplistic terms so that if you're setting up a strategy that might be spinning your wheels in the wrong direction, how to essentially stop that and make sure that you're going back on course. One of the first things is it's kind of exciting. We created a new report for 401k rollovers and 401k distribution strategies. You could go to our website, retiresharp.com, or you could just simply give us a call, 1-800-566-1002. So before watching this video, definitely get your free report. There's no obligation. Just basically give us a call, and we'll make sure that somebody sends that over to your email, and then everything, to help you learn different ways as we're discussing this video. So the problem that's made right now, or kind of the problem that is occurring with individuals on 401k distributions, is they're still stuck in an accumulation goal. What I mean by that is when somebody's working for an employer, they get their employee benefits package. So typically, things are a huge mess. It's a huge rush. They're excited about getting their work, getting set up in their career, and they're just kind of signing here, signing there, and they understand that this is a type of retirement account that's set up through that employer. So what happens is each and every month that that individual's working for the employer during their pay period, they might say, okay, please designate a portion of my salary to go into this 401k retirement bucket. And that's what you have to look at it as, is a retirement bucket. So what makes this bucket grow is the amount of contributions that this person places in there, possibly an employer match, and that employer match is just free money that the employer is trying to say, okay, we understand you're a loyal employee. In order for you to stay here, to give you an incentive to stay here, we'll start matching to your retirement as well. So you might have the contributions, the employer match is essentially going into this bucket. Now, what's going to grow this bucket at the end of the day, at the end of the year, is going to be whether the mutual funds that are typically whatever the mutual funds that are tied to this 401k account, if it comes back with a positive gain, then obviously it's going to give you a positive interest credit. If it comes back with a negative gain, well, then this could, eliminate your portfolio. It could reduce your portfolio significantly. An example I always use is, say, 2008 is, you had the average portfolio lost 57%. Some portfolios didn't do as bad of a hit, but other portfolios did worse. So it's not so much just throwing money aside, and then all of a sudden it's just automatically going to grow. No, you want to make sure that you're understanding what these negatives are, any sorts of negatives to your account, how to essentially stop that bleeding, especially when you're gearing up for retirement, when you're gearing up for distribution. So when individuals are successful throughout their working career, they're placing dollars aside. They're saying, okay, well, I could be in a little bit more aggressive mutual funds or a little bit more aggressive types of funds to try to get some good interest credits, into that account as I'm placing portions of my salary into that specific type of bucket. The downside is right when they start to hit age 50, age 55, and they're realizing, okay, I want to eventually retire. I want to eventually start taking distributions from this account, but they're still in this accumulation strategy because the accumulation strategy was so easy to set up. It was just saying, okay, pick your mutual funds and, hopefully everything should be going up. And this is where the problem is made, is individuals are not setting up for a preservation and distribution strategy, and they're still in that accumulation phase. They're still in that growth stage when they should be going more towards a safety and a max distribution stage. So let me clear up the screen. So a common example of what I'm speaking about is that reverse dollar cost averaging that I try to talk about on a lot of my different videos. But how exactly is this incorporated in a realistic situation? Well, let's say if somebody was accumulating, they started working for a company in their 30s, and now they're in their 60s, and they want to start taking distributions from their 401k account. Most likely this individual has access to take the 401k and roll it over into an IRA contract. When they do this, they unfortunately go into IRAs and they still stick with that accumulation goal, that accumulation mindset. So they'll say, okay, well, I'm used to mutual funds. I'm used to different funding options. Let me just stay the course on that, on that IRA, and then I'll slowly start pulling distributions from this, and hopefully I'm not going to be able to outlive my monies. That's already a mistake. That's already a guess. You're gambling with your retirement. You're gambling with your livelihood. And the statistic is, 80 to 90% of individuals are currently at or below the poverty level of seniors are currently at or below the poverty level when they retire. It's because they're leaving too much money at risk. They go too much towards an accumulation stage when they should be going more towards a preservation and distribution phase. So when you're accumulating your monies, when you're placing dollars aside into your 401k account, typically you have it set up with different mutual funds. You might have an advisor that's monitoring that account. And then, eventually you're saying, okay, I'm going to start taking distributions from this. So when it comes time when this individual's in his 60s and they say, okay, I'm going to roll over my IRA into mutual funds, let me just go and hire, a wealth accumulation specialist, an investment advisor to go and try to monitor this account and tell me, okay, I should, stay within these different types of mutual funds and everything should work out perfectly. The downside to that is none of those advisors could explain to you and show you anything that's guaranteed with those monies when you start actually pulling distributions from those types of accounts. Because if you're utilizing variable, if you're utilizing speculation, well, there's no guarantees with speculation. They could go and do the best research possible, but at the end of the day, if the market's going to have a shift, the market's going to have a shift, and therefore that's going to impact your portfolio. So what reverse dollar cost averaging exposes is it says, okay, if you leave your money, and let's say you're in your 60s or in your late 50s, you want to start pulling money out for retirement, and you leave those monies in mutual funds, well, you're still going to have a mutual fund related fee there. So according to Morningstar, the average mutual fund related fee is right around 1% or 1.31%. If you try to leverage a financial advisor, something known as a wrap fee, they're going to charge you an advisor fee, that wrap fee. That averages right around 1.18%. So that's another 1% for conservative reasons. Let's say if the market goes down, once again, financial advisors were monitoring accounts when the downward market shift occurred in 2008. So it didn't matter whether you were paying them the fee or not, that shift still occurred. So how exactly can you make sure to eliminate that downward market loss? So let's just say in a given year, you had a shift that took place and that was a 10% downward market loss when you tried to pull money from your account. So this last aspect is income. First off, how much money should you be pulling out? Second off, do you stay consistent with that withdrawal? What I mean by that is, let's say if somebody had $100,000 and they decide to pull out $5,000 that year, well, that's 5%. If you have all these different negatives, let's say if you had, $1,000 in mutual fund related fees, $1,000 in advisor fees, you had $10,000 market loss, and then you pulled out $5,000 that year. Well, you would have pulled out $5,000, but this portfolio would have ended up losing $17,000 worth of value, hence putting your retirement account at $83,000. The next year when you try to pull out $5,000 to still live off of what your expenses are, well, now you have a more severe impact. This is a higher percentage. This isn't 5% anymore. That's a higher percentage of what that 83,000 is because that's a lower number. So ultimately, you have an uphill battle struggle when it's not necessary. If you don't have to risk your monies in the market, if you do not have to utilize a growth strategy, an accumulation strategy, and you're now set up for the preservation distribution side of it, basically saying, okay, I want to leverage these retirement savings to actually live off of for retirement income, you want to make sure that you're doing it the proper way, and that's where you set up the proper distribution strategies. So, and let me clear off the screen real quick. So there's ways on how you could overcome these problems. You could set up the proper preservation and distribution strategies specific to your age. If, let's say, you're in your 50s, but you want to retire at age 62 or 66 or 67, whatever the case may be, well, you could set up a specific plan that gives you that deferral. Maybe you're 55 years old and you want to retire in exactly 10 years. Well, there's a maximized plan that you could set up that's actually a lot better than leveraging a plan if you want to retire within the next 30 days. So the longer out that you have, the more chips you have to play with, essentially, the more options you have available to you to make sure that you could have specific guarantees on this distribution side, or this distribution strategy. So what I mean by that is typically you come into a couple of different circumstances that right when you hit age 60 through your 401k, the 401k provider typically allows you to have options to say, yes, you could take out either all or you could take out portions of your 401k account and then roll them over into IRA contracts. It's not IRA contracts that are just set up with growth and speculation. I'm talking about IRA contracts set up specific for distribution strategies, one that don't have any mutual fund related fees, ones that don't have any advisor fees, ones that do not go down when you have a downward market loss. It's known as an indexing strategy. And then also when it comes time for income, let's say if this person's 60 years old, they want to retire at age 65, well, how exactly can we maximize out that cash flow, maximize out those distributions for retirement income? And the reason why that's important is because when you set up a plan with specific features on a specifically designed IRA contract, you maximize your goal and you minimize the amount of dollars necessary to accomplish that goal. So please understand that concept. Please rely on that. You maximize your goal, but you minimize the amount of dollars necessary to accomplish that goal. So let's say if somebody has $500,000 that's sitting in a 401k account, but they only need $150,000 to accomplish that specific retirement income goal. Well, that's all you'd need to roll over. That's all you would need to set up on your distribution plan, because this will spit out guaranteed income streams, guaranteed income sources specific to what your expenses are. And these are the different things that we try to show you guys. We try to say, hey, listen, you don't have to be into that accumulation. You don't have to have that accumulation mindset going forward. You don't need that big question mark in retirement. You could actually accomplish it successfully by just taking a very simplistic path, understanding what are the pros, what are the cons, what is available out there, and that's what we try to do. We try to help solve your perfect puzzle piece, and we give you good recommendations on what are some of the best offers out there. So at any point in time you are interested in speaking with a specialist to try to help you out with your own specific situation, understand we're on a national basis. So depending upon your area, there's going to be specific solutions set up for that particular area, certain offerings, certain solutions, and to maximize out what your goals are and minimize the amount of cost that you have to leverage your accounts. It's all about a big game of leverage retirement. You know, you only have one chance to get things done correctly. If you want a free report, please feel free to give us a call, 1-800-566-1002. Or if you'd like to speak with a specialist. Once again, we're A+ rated on the Better Business Bureau. We've always had very good reviews. We've never had any complaints. It's because of this methodical process. We also have recently had modifications to our website. So at any point in time you guys want to check out our websites, retiresharp.com, Retire Sharp with a P. I always recommend to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Retire Sharp, so you can have access to the most updated videos. I try to put these things out every week, just different topics that we get questions in every day, every couple of weeks. So, anything that we're getting a large amount of questions, feel free to give us a call, leave us your feedback, your comments, and we'll be sure to try to tackle those questions, each and every week. But thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate you, reviewing these videos, your comments, your questions, and we look forward to helping you out and seeing if we could set you up on a correct path. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.